Hello everyone, my name is Tejas and this is Squibbler. Welcome back to yet another episode of Wizards Unite. Now, as of the time of recording this, it's the 22nd of June, and unfortunately Wizards Unite has still not launched anywhere outside of the 4 original regions. So unfortunately I am in one of those regions where Wizards Unite has not launched yet, but regardless of that, I will still be making these guides as I have said before. Now, since I do not have the game personally, some of the screen recordings that you will see in this video will come from a fellow WooTuber, Geeta from Geeta Lovegood. So definitely go check out her videos. She does some great content. So I'll leave a link to her videos in the description box down below. And also, of course, from Zoe to Dots as well. She has been excellent, and thanks to her, I've gotten a lot of help with creating these videos. So thanks to Zoe as well. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, I highly recommend you do that first, because yesterday we talked about professions and fortresses, which is what we're going to talk about today, kind of go hand in hand and they're kind of linked to one another. So to understand how fortress battles work, I highly recommend you watch the professions video, because I do talk a little bit about fortress battles in that video. Now, without further ado, let's begin. So fortress battles basically will happen at the fortresses. So one of the points of interest that you will see on your map is the fortress, the tallest building. There are inns and greenhouses, but fortresses are the tallest building. So once you tap on a fortress, you'll be entering the fortress, and over here you'll be given the choice to choose between 20 different levels. Of course, if you're just starting out, you're only going to get the first couple of levels unlocked to you, and you need to clear those levels in order for you to unlock the lower levels. So it ranges from 1 to level 20. Now, once you've chosen which floor you want to do your battle in, then you are given the choice of choosing which type of fortress arena you want to battle in, and that depends on the type of runestone that you choose. Now, runestones, if you've played Pokemon Go, then you'll be familiar with raid passes, and that is exactly how runestones work. You spend a runestone in order to enter a battle, and the good thing about Wizards Unite is that runestones are very easily available in game. They're quite abundant, and you frequently get them through rewards and catching foundables, etc. So getting runestones, not a problem at all. So the runestones vary in terms of the 10 different categories that you can find in the registry. So choosing each of these runestones will determine the type of foes and enemies that you will face in your fortress battle. Apart from that, the runestone will also determine the level of difficulty that you will face for that fortress battle. There's another factor that influences the difficulty in fortress battles, and that is the number of players that you'll be going into this fortress battle with. So there's a maximum number of 5 people that you can battle in fortresses with, and of course the minimum number is 1. You can solo fortress battles. Another great thing about Wizards Unite's runestones as compared to Pokemon Go's Raid Pass is that once you've spent your runestone, you can actually get that runestone back as long as you leave that raid, or rather fortress lobby, before the battle begins. So if you leave the lobby before it begins, your runestone will be returned to you, unlike how in Pokemon Go the raid passes are not returned to you once you enter the lobby. So that's another plus point for runestones in Wizards Unite. Now, once you've entered the arena for the fortress battle, that's when your 5-minute countdown begins, and within that 5 minutes you are required to defeat all the foes that are within that fortress. Now, before you begin your combats with all of the foes that are in the fortress arena, the first thing that you want to do is try and use your focus energy. Now, the focus energy is something that you will find at the bottom of your screen that indicates how much focus you have. Now, of course, if you are not yet level 6, which means if you have not chosen your profession yet, then you're not going to get any access to the focus spells. Of course, once you have reached level 6 and you have chosen your profession, then yes, you can choose which type of focus you want. Now, what exactly is focus is basically buffs or debuffs for your fortress battles. So buffs will help improve yourself or your teammates' health or attack stats. And debuffs will help to reduce your enemy's health or make their attacks less intimidating or less powerful, so that you get less damage inflicted upon yourself. So these buffs and debuffs come through the focus points, and how you increase your focus points is basically by battling foes with the focus icon. So it's kind of like who comes first, chicken or egg, because in order to get focus points, you need to battle an enemy with that focus symbol, and then you can use that focus for your future battles. So that's kind of how focus works. Now you want to use your focus before you enter any of the battles, because that will increase your odds of winning the fortress battle, regardless of whether you are buffing yourself or your teammates or you're debuffing your enemies. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a maximum limit of 5 players who can enter a fortress arena at one time, but you're probably going to realize that in a fortress arena, sometimes there are less than 5 enemies. So what do you do in this case? Well, in Wizards Unite, you only face 1 enemy per player. So let's just say you're going in with 5 players and there are 3 enemies in the fortress, then only 3 of you will be battling against these enemies. The other 2 of you will be sitting outside of the battle, but don't worry, that doesn't mean you're not doing anything. This is where you can use your focus as well. So those players that are sitting outside can still help your teammates buff up their stats or debuff the enemy stats. And this is exactly the reason why I suggested that you need, if you're going in with a group, you need to have a varying number of professions. So try not to go all aurors or all professors or all magizoologists. You kind of want to have a mix of all the 3. Now, if you're facing anything that's not a beast, that means if you're facing a curiosity or a dark force, then you want your aurors and professors in battle, and you want to keep the magizoologists outside of the battle, and then they can start healing the aurors and professors who are in the battle. So that's kind of like a great strategy to use. Of course, if you're facing against beasts, then you want your magizoologists inside as well. Then maybe the auror or the professor can step out, and then they will be able to help from outside the battle as well. So of course, once you tap on any of the enemies, that's when the battle begins. You will notice your health and also your enemy's health. Basically, all you have to do is defeat the enemy before your own health goes down. So you can use potions to help in your battle sequence. You can use these potions to help improve your spellcasting, or you can also heal yourself during battles. So once you've entered the battle, the first thing you need to do is do that trace thingy. So basically you need to like tap. Of course, I don't have anything on my screen right now because I don't have the game, so I can't show you. But basically you need to just tap on the screen and align yourself with that star icon that's there. So once that is aligned, that's when the battle begins. And in the battle, all you need to do is follow the instructions. Just trace the glyph for if you're attacking or if you are protecting yourself. The Portkey charm will be used in every battle. The Portkey charm is basically a defensive spell which reduces the damage that you take. So by casting Portkey, by tracing that glyph, basically the amount of damage that your enemy is going to inflict upon you will be reduced. Of course, if you don't trace it as well, or if you don't trace it at all, then the enemy is going to inflict maximum damage upon you. So definitely you want to be casting Portkey as much as you want. And of course, the other glyph would be to attack your enemy. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, there are pros and cons depending on which professions you're choosing. So I highly recommend, once again, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out so that you know which of these professions are stronger against which type of enemies. So suppose you have finished all the battles within your fortress arena, that's when you'll get rewarded. These rewards will be the same regardless of whether or not you went in with a group or if you did a solo battle. So the rewards will still be the same. The deeper you go with the higher level floors, the harder it is going to get. But of course, you get better rewards for these more difficult tiers. Now, while I won't say that soloing is impossible, you can't actually go beyond a certain level if you are soloing a fortress battle. During the beta phase of the Wizards Unite in New Zealand or Australia, one of the players actually managed to reach level 15, which is the 15th level of the fortress, on his own or on her own. And basically they were able to reach up to that level by soloing it all the way, and they could not go beyond that. So definitely soloing is going to be impossible for the very, very high tiered fortress battles, but you can actually solo to about 75% of the way. Now for soloing, it doesn't really matter what profession you choose, whether you're an Auror, a professor, or a Magizoologist, but that person who did reach level 15 was actually a Magizoologist. But then again, like I said, it doesn't really matter which you choose. It really depends on how you do your fortress battles by incorporating a lot of focus spells and using potions to improve your gameplay as well. Now, apart from the normal enemies and foes that you will see in a fortress battle, there are also elite foes. Now, these elite foes will have a purple health bar instead of a red health bar, and they are much more difficult to beat, and they are at a much higher level. So these will of course give you a higher number of rewards as well. So just take note of these elite foes when you enter a fortress battle. So that's basically the basics of fortress battles in Wizards Unite. Of course, we'll go into more in-depth detail fortress battling in the future, so stay tuned for those videos. This was kind of just like a basic rundown of how fortress battles work and how you can win as many fortress battles as possible. So thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow, stay tuned for yet another guide that I'll be posting here on this channel, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Click the bell icon so you're notified of when I drop that video. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, actually, sorry, there's one more thing left. Yesterday, this screenshot was sent to me by Reversal. Reversal is a Pokemon Go YouTuber who's also interested in making Harry Potter videos. But he received this notification, or rather he saw this advertisement on Facebook, and basically the translation of this post says that a certain few countries, I'm going to list those countries over here on screen, these countries are going to get the game this weekend. So these countries especially, you want to keep a lookout for your app stores. You might be getting this game sometime this weekend. For the rest of us in the rest of the world, hopefully we get some more information. Last night, Wizards Unite did tweet out that the rest of the countries are going to get the game in the coming days. So how many days is in the coming days, I'm not sure, but hopefully it means we don't have to wait too long. So there's pretty much that. So thank you, I'll see you guys tomorrow.